We got ourselves team 1 with... Who is this beautiful bastard? It's going to be KMW Rogue. KMW. Genesis making a return to 5v5 1v1 Duels. We got us Demoniac, Kane, as well as... Quapley? Quapley. Okay, that's a lot of monks. That's a lot of rogues. That's a lot of agility classes versus Baba Yaga. On the other team, we got Vengeance. Oh. It looks cool. We got Vengeance. We also got ourselves Mithrin, who's going to be already at the enemy team. We got ourselves Creamy Girls. Very interesting Mog. We got ourselves War Grand. It looks like Mithrin is taking quite a lot of damage already from KMW. Got himself Barks available. Playing the Feral Wall already used, I think, for the Mastery setup. Just trying to get the bleeds up and running onto KMW. Does he have enough healing? They'll try to see if he can stag out of there. And KMW taking him out, but the bleeds, was it worth it? Are the bleeds doing the work he wanted him to? Because he's trying to play some crazy bleed playstyle where he goes in for a wall, gets a Giga Bleed, Giga Mastery buff. And I think he just tries to bleed people down with like a snapshot. But I don't know how well it's going to work out for him. Cheap shot on big damage by Baba Yaga. Taking out KMW before he can really do anything. Making the play. I like how you have the Outlaw Saber in your offhand, by the way. Very interesting choice for the transmog. But that's going to be a rogue getting taken out that quick by another rogue. It's one dude getting taken out by another dude. And Quapley is going to be up next. There's so many agility classes on each team. I do like the Fire Mage though. And I don't like the Mithrin is still trying to make the Feral work. There's going to be a cheap shot by Baba Yaga going through the stun rotations of Quapley. Does catch him in an in-cap into a leg sweep. Looking to maybe make the Fist of Fury fly. Evasion coming out for the rogue. And Quapley looking to get the hell out. Goes into his cubby hole just to get some heals. I actually can't rotate my camera in there. And at all. He gets all kinds of too close. So it's going to be Baba Yaga 1 and Quapley 2. Okay. Baba going in for a bit. Oh, the spin and crank are going to get him out of stealth. Still landing the kidney shot onto the monk. That's going to be cheap shot. More finishes. Quapley going in for the karma. Looking to maybe get some damage in. Got a slow one to Baba Yaga. Does have a blind. Does have evasion. Well, no. Does have a vanish, actually. Excuse me. Quapley not tricking it out of this blind. Knows that'll be the death sentence for him. He needs to make sure to use that trinket at a right proper time. Gonna be another stab by the rogue. Is just kind of waiting this time, maybe waiting for some cooldowns. Has been charged to Shadowlands, so should be able to make some damage happen here. Big old dress onto the monk. That's gonna be a big old leg sweep by Quapley, trying to make the Fist of Furies go again. Huge damage with the Whirling Dragon Punch and a dress taking the rogue out. I did not expect that at all. Next is going to be Vengeance, looking to get some revenge for his fallen brethren rogue. But he's going to get in there, getting disarmed immediately as he goes in for an open with a Shadow Strike. And just kind of runs by Quapley. Goes in for a kidney shot immediately. Shadow Strike's flying, going to be tricking for Quapley, getting Zuen up and running. That's going to be Vengeance with a lot of damage. Quapley does not have a karma. Needs to find a way to deal with the rogue. Fist of Fury flying right now. Evasion and Clock Shot is available. Vengeance is going to go for a Shadow Step. That's going to be Quapley porting inside of the room. And that's going to be Zuen not letting him catch a reset. Ring of Boopity Bob going to keep him at bay for a second and not letting Vengeance catch a restealth with that Zuen still clawing at him. Vengeance better build some comp points off of that thing. Quapley approaching up close. That's going to be yet another kidney shot hitting him. Does Vengeance have the damage to make it through the kidney shots? Another cheap shot to follow it. Stun. And Vengeance does have a way out with the vanish if he needs to. Fist of Furies does slow him in place. He's going to do quite a bit of damage. Blind onto Quapley. No trinket available. Does Vengeance have enough damage here? It doesn't look like he even has a charge to shot it in, so it's going to be a little bit rough. Has cold blood. Maybe might want to just stay in there. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Because Quapley has a karma back up. Leg sweep available as well. Vengeance, I don't know if he has a trinket or not. Kidney shot onto Quapley immediately. I think he tried to go for a kick accidentally, so maybe a misplay. In cap onto Vengeance. Quapley looking to get himself a little health. Leg sweep. Vengeance does have a trinket for it. Fist of Furies are trying to slow him down. Trying to shot us up around. Big dress to go by the monk and taking him out with a big old dress. Big old Whirling Dragon Punch on top of it to just go to his cubby hole yet again with War Grand. Approaching him as close as possible. Yeah, Kane and everybody giving him as much room. I do appreciate you guys doing that. Gonna be nades getting thrown in at Quapley, and I think Genesis is gonna get caught in the crossfire, and this nades a little bit. Working, just kind of kiting Quapley back. And these dots are really just shredding through him. Quapley having to go for mad heals immediately. As Wargun is on the hunt right now. Fist of Fury probably shouldn't stop him too much. Stunned by Wargun with a big old dress. Quapley Does have a karma if necessary. Is going to pop a karma onto Wargren, but a freezing trap stops all the damage on the Quapley, makes the karma do absolutely nothing. Feint death to remove the effect, and goes in for a bit of a heal. Knockback is Quapley out in the open, but I think it actually gives him a better position behind line of sight. It looks like Wargren is going to stick the pet in there, trying to find an angle where he can get the dots without having to get super up close into melee with Quapley. Still playing the kiting playstyle. Even though you are a melee spec of Hunter, you still are looking for a range as best as possible, which is so interesting about survival. The leg sweep, Wargren does have a trigger for it. Going to be Quapley trying to make those Fists of Furies line up. But looks like he's going to go for a retreat instead. Wargren took a hefty bit of damage from that, actually. Even though it was a very, very short moment. He's going to go for feint death. The images are still on him, are still beating him up for a second. As Wargren is going to be able to catch himself a bit of a reset. We do have a duel that's actually meaning into the 4% dampening compared to that Paladin. Or no, the other Survival Hunter duel. Quapley looking to just charge right in. Going to be a disengage out of Wargren as he's keeping the distance. The more he can maintain the distance, the better. He needs to get the dots rolling, but that's a poison that Quapley can actually cleanse. The pet is in there that can put up a bleed, which is huge for him as well. It looks like Wargren actually goes in for a full camera. He might as well. As Kane, what are you looking like? Actually, Quapley, what is he looking like? Trinket available, Karma available in over seconds, so that's pretty big. Zoan available, images very, very soon. So he should be pretty good. Wargren approaching, but did he approach with any cooldowns available? Looks like maybe Alexia, but Quapley, he didn't have it at the time. Just if you were trying to make a play, it's going to be yet another karma. Wargren knows he needs to prevent Quapley from playing the game. Trinket for that freezing trap. Getting a leg sweep onto Wargren. Is that going to be big damage for Quapley right now? Big dress and actually almost goes down. Does the proc for Azure do anything though? Turning around to the pet immediately. Going to go for a self-heal instead. Wargren did go through quite a lot of cooldowns from Quapley. Offensives and defensive. Getting hit with the disarm. Not like it's going to stop a survival hunter really. That's going to be a Zuwen joining the fight as well. Wargren is under a lot of pressure. Goes in for a dress of the Quapley, but Quapley taking him out. Actually watching out for his own health as best as possible. It looks like majority of that team, too, is actually removed with a Ring of Frost coming out for Creamy Girls. And a Great Pyro in the opener here with a big old meteor. Quapley does not have an answer for it. But he looks like he does have himself diffused magic to try to deal with it. Actually doing quite a lot of defensiveness to him. Quite a lot of survivability with this. Going to be in cap onto Creamy. As they do get images up and running. Ring of Peace coming out to hopefully boop the it actually looks like the mage is getting booped all the way on the other side of the platform before he can even approach it up above. Does get a no one to Quapley. Does he have an answer for it? The G-Pi is going to be up in there. It has to go for heals, but I think Pyros are going to get him. The Phoenix Flames flying. Second Phoenix Flames. Quapley, if you can somehow survive this, actually does get off of Vivify. That's going to be a little bit more self-heals available for him. How is he still alive? Legs him onto Creamy. He does go for a Trinket Breath immediately. I was looking to maybe get some damage onto Quapley. The Vivifies and every single one of them that you get off right now is going to be major. Quapley, I think, waiting for a karma. Does get a karma. Does Creamy go for an ice block? It looks like they do. It looks like they do actually. As Quapley went in for a dress. So if anything, Creamy needs to be worrying about Quapley, but also you got quite a lot of people on the other team that you got to deal with too. Quite a lot of them. So we'll see how it's going to work for him. In cap onto Creamy as Quapley still trying to stay alive and play as best as he can as a monk. Polymorph coming out by the mage, Greater Pyro, maybe with a meteor. Quapley does not sit that long at all. What just happened? Was that just a super DR poly maybe? Giga DR poly. He did trinket it. No, that's what happened. He trinketed it. You just didn't really see the animation for trinket nearly as often. It's going to be Quapley going in with a Fist of Fury, diffuse magic available, taking the minimum amount of damage. Is he actually in the ring? Looks like the ring is complete. Gonna go for a portal last second. Perfect positional for him. Still eating a Pyroblast or two. Creamy is actually, I think, they are mostly out of cooldowns. They do have a combustion. They could go for food. And Quapley needs to find a way to close out the game. He has images. He has a Zuwen. Maybe he can go for a big old leg sweep and take down Creamy. Maybe a dress is available. Creamy, I don't think, has the human racial at this point. So he won't be able to get out of stuns. Unless Creamy can use the combustion and maybe land a G-Pi and Meteor onto Quapley. I don't really know how well this is going to be for them. It looks like Quapley is going to try to see if he can disrupt the feast. He does disrupt it. But still eating Pyros to the face. So I don't think the mage is going to really be able to outlast Quapley at all. In cap, maybe a leg sweep right off of this. Does Creamy have an answer? Going to be a big old Fist of Fury, big dress with a Whirling Dragon Punch, huge damage into a Cauterize. Actually, Brock and Creamy is in a bad spot as the monk really was able to do the most amount of damage. Try to get a Ring of Frost. Do they just die anyway? Gonna go for food immediately. Nope, has to go for a Ring of Frost in case Quapley gets him. And the monk is still going to be able to disrupt the eats. I honestly think he just might be able to do this with Crack of Jade Lightning. Doesn't even have to get in there. It looks like the Jade Light is actually doing work. I think Creamy is kind of out of options. They might need to just get in there, breath into a big damage onto Quapley. So what is this glowing over there? Ring of Peace, just not let it play. Wow, that was just such a turnaround for Quapley. Wow. I mean, he just massive turnaround, got such an advantage. There's no way to come back from it for the mage. Unless you maybe went in for a big breath and jumpstered every bit of damage onto the monk. I think that's what it should have done. Is they should have, when the breath, the Quapley, they should have just got a G-Pie, big old meteor, everything. Or maybe just Nova him into a big old damage and just see if they can one-shot him. Because I think at that point, that's all you can do. But then they decided to back up and they can't get a Zat, and that was super unfortunate. Let's get another one going, boys.